Hello, welcome to the next training video in our overview of the Risk Assessment tool. In this video, we will be looking at how to set up and configure your Risk Assessment tool module. We will specifically cover how to choose your risk assessment type, configure and set up your flight risk assessment tool, create your own categories and assessment questions, configure assessment preferences, edit your risk range text, color, and range, and set email reports and default approval managers. The first thing you'll want to do, if you haven't already done so, is choose which type of risk assessment you would like to use. If you have already chosen your risk assessment type, move on to the next section in the video. To choose your risk assessment form, navigate to the My Safety tab and click on Risk Assessment Tool. Here you will select which assessment type to use by clicking on the Settings icon and choosing your assessment type. Currently, only Flight Risk Assessment, or FRAT, will have built-in categories, questions, and form labels. All other assessment types will need to be fully configured by you. Once you have chosen your assessment type, it will be locked down, so select carefully. Next, you will want to configure this module in the 4 tabs. And don't worry about making a mistake. You can change these settings at any time in the future. If you have not already done so, I suggest you review the training video for how to use this module so that you understand its functionalities. In the first tab, you can create custom risk assessment form categories and edit existing category questions. To create a new category, click on the Clear Text button, and then simply type in the category name, enter where in the view order you would like it to start, 0 will be first, and then click the green Add Category button. The category will now appear in the drop-down menu. You can edit existing categories by selecting one from the drop-down menu, changing its name by editing the text and clicking Save, change the view order by entering a new view order number and clicking Save, or delete the whole category by clicking the trash icon and then confirming. If you would like to edit questions in the category, you do so below. You can edit the name of a question, its risk value that will be counted if you answer yes to that question when filling out an assessment, and its view order in the category. If no gets value is selected, then that question will receive a risk score only if the question is answered no. For example, if we create a question like passenger security check at airport, a no answer would obviously mean that the operation has greater risk, so we would select no gets value. If you select the inactive checkbox, the question will be deleted from the form. To add new questions to a category, type its name at the bottom, its risk score, and view order, and click Add Risk. In this manner, you can create as many custom form categories and questions as you would like. Once you have made your edits, click Save Edited Questions, and they will update. Next is the Assessment Form tab, where you can configure form requirements and display text. First, you can change the wording of questions. However, note that this will not change the functionality of them. You can make questions a requirement to submit the risk assessment. The red exclamation mark will appear next to required questions. You can also add several more fill-in-the-blank questions and then click Update. And after we update, we can see our changes. A couple of things to note here is that date, person in charge, such as pilot, and tail number will always be required. The tail number drop-down list is populated from the Aircraft Vehicles tab in the Customize Settings module. Users will also have the ability to manually type in a tail number that does not appear. For the person in charge, you can make this box a drop-down menu to select from a user role in your portal, or make it a fill-in-the-blank. We will look at this further in the Portal Preferences tab. In the Risk Range tab, we can edit the message that will appear on a form that has been assessed with each risk range, the color that is shown on the report for total risk, the low and high values for each risk range. Double check that your low and high risk values don't overlap, such as with our example for low and medium risk ranges. you will need to configure the Risk Range tab before this module will work properly. You can also require approval for flights with each current risk level. If they don't require approval, the approval section will appear blank in FRAT history. Finally, if you would like to have less than 4 assessment ranges, such as in the case if your company would like only a low, medium, and high risk range, you can check the inactive box. Just make sure to edit your low and high risk ranges accordingly. After making changes, click Update. In our example, I will fix the risk range and message for low risk, which we can now see reflected in the reports. Finally, in the last tab, you can configure automatic email routing based on total risk level when flight risk assessment reports are created. The manager receiving the email should be in charge of accepting or rejecting risk assessments, which he or she will be able to do within the email, as discussed in the previous video, or in the FRAT module. You can put different managers in charge of different risk levels, or simply list the manager who will receive all email reports. The last checkbox and dropdown concern the person in charge and second in charge categories. If this box is checked, when filling out a form you must select a user from the dropdown. The choices that appear in the dropdown list will be determined by the role that you choose here. In our current example, the list is a dropdown and is populated by users with the pilot role. I could add more users to this list in the User Accounts module by adding pilot role to more users. If a box is unchecked, users can manually enter the names of the person and second person in charge. In summary, you should now be able to choose which assessment types you would like to edit, create and edit custom assessment form categories and custom questions, edit question names and risk values, configure basic flight form labels and requirements, configure risk range and risk level information, and set up portal preferences for email routing. If you have any further questions or comments, please contact us. Thank you for watching.